748, Greg Jarrett, good morning. You like to have good news, you like to have success stories. Well, we have one for you this morning. Every 13 weeks, we cycle through a morning intern. You know, sometimes we abuse them a little bit when they first come in. We don't even call them by their names. We accidentally say the wrong city where they come from. And most often, they go into some sort of drudgery for months afterwards, perhaps go back to school or maybe another internship program. But occasionally, they are success stories, and they actually find a job immediately after their internship here. One such success story is Greg Tracy, who is ending his 13 weeks today. Greg, congratulations. You're actually going on to a job.
Yeah, that's right.
A major broadcasting job, I might say, as well. We'll talk about that a little bit more. First of all, where are you from? Because I said the wrong place when you came to work.
Yeah,
here.
I'm actually from Glenview. We'll go with that today.
He's from all over, but Glenview's the pick today because that's where he left his sleeping bag last night when he got on the train. You have served a couple of internships here in town, and then you came here. Was it what you thought it was going to be when you walked in the door?
I wasn't really sure what to expect. I knew it was a big company, a big name, and I knew I would be having a lot of responsibilities, but it ended up being a lot of fun, a lot of hands-on. I got to edit some audio and play with the sound waves going on, so it was a good time. Got to actually be a part of the show and not just get the coffee, even though that was
maybe 4 or 5 times in 13 months you walked across the street and got some coffee and some scones for us.
Well, so far today I've been called not so fresh and stale is what I've heard so far.
And
so
old, I think, too.
Yeah. Yes, I'm old, stale, and not so fresh.
But you do have a very
already.
old-sounding voice, doesn't he?
I don't know if that's...
Mature might be
a very mature, nice, deep voice.
Rob Hart's the one who said something about your smell. I'm not. Was that Greg Tracy that you were talking about, Rob?
Well, Greg's. You both have an enchanting musk, especially at this early hour of the morning. And in such close quarters and in a soundproof room, I mean, that is very important. But
that's why you're 4 floors away.
Yeah, I'm way up in the sky. It takes a long time for the sewer gas to get here.
So, Greg, you actually found stories on occasion. You made contributions. Now, there are places where you'd be out in the parking lot digging out cars and washing cars and stuff like that.
Yeah, there are internships like that where you just get coffee and just clean up and things like that. Mm-hmm. So, but here I actually got to do stuff, so that was good. And luckily at the little gig I had before this, I was also doing stuff, so I've been pretty fortunate. And
by doing stuff and by editing, what happens is the sound that you hear is put into podcast. It's put on the computer. It's put at WGNradio.com. And you're primarily responsible for doing that.
Yeah, doing that and then coming up with titles and catchy little ringers that get people to click on it. And, you know, so far our podcasts for this show have been in the top 3 almost every day, so...
You're a headline writer, is what it is, because that's what snags people in this particular day and age.
Yeah, and you're also entering in search engine options and things like that help. When people do searches, your podcast comes up on top of the Google search and things like that.
And for the past few weeks, Greg has been seriously searching every website he can to find positions that are open, from working in the oil fields of Bogota, Colombia, to actually doing this for a living, and you found a broadcast position here in Chicago.
Yeah, in Chicago. I was imagining having to go off in the middle of nowhere to get started, but I got pretty fortunate. I actually found something that will pay me.
And I'll say this, there are 3 radio stations that do spoken word broadcasting here in Chicago that compete heavily against each other, and it is one of our major competitors in the market at which you will be working. And that's not an easy job to get.
Right. Yeah. So, yeah, I get to take all the secrets from here.
Well, you're not going to make it out the parking lot, I'll tell you that right now. Guido is out there with a baseball bat right now. You'll be doing what at your new job?
I will be the assistant producer, which means it'll be a lot of audio editing, doing some interviews, cutting that up, putting that on the air, and booking some guests, making sure that they're ready to go on.
What do you have a memory of what the most exciting thing that happened to you while you were here was?
I think there was a lot of moments that stood out. I know when we did the Ron Santo Memorial, that was a really hectic day where, you know, we had to get a lot done, and it was just really fast paced. So that always stands out. And any day like that where something big happens, where you have to like be on your feet and be on your toes and really get the breaking news out there and find good angles for it that people want to listen to.
Well, you're one in a million, Greg, and I'd like to say that you have participated in the program. You had your ears open, and you broke a sweat. So you can't say that about everybody that shows up for work at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And you did it. Thank you for participating in the show.
Thank you.
Greg Tracy, he's on, and if he makes it out of the parking lot, he'll be competing against us.